I can almost guarantee you're not charging enough for your flower bouquets. Most times we just start the season buying up a whole bunch of seeds, but we don't write down how much each seed packet is going to generate in terms of stems and how much they cost to get a good understanding of how many bouquets that we'll be able to get out of the season. Now, I know that certain stems are going to generate more than one bloom. That's not factored in here, so we're just looking at for information and educational purposes only. All right, now that you've got a good handle on how much you have in the way of seeds, how many stems you're likely to be able to get out of that seed packet, and how many bouquets you're likely to be able to get out of the season, it's time to look at the equipment and all of the things that are necessary in order for you to grow the flower. Your equipment costs are going to look different from the next person's equipment costs. It's just going to depend on how you are actually growing your flowers. If you're growing them in pallets, then you're going to have to go find pallets for free or either buy pallets. Someone else may be growing in the ground and have to use a lot of weed cover. So just depending on your personal situation is what your equipment costs are going to look like. All right, so in this example, we've got pallets, soil, fertilizer, water, scissors, mason jars, twine, and support netting. I'm sure I'm leaving some stuff off, but you get the point. Here is where most people make the mistake. They do not factor in their labor when it comes to their pricing. Now, you see I've got $10 an hour in my labor category for 650 hours. All I did was I went back and I said, how many hours am I spending per week on average? How long is my season? And what would I have to pay someone if I had to hire someone to help me do this? What would I have to pay per hour? And yes, I can get away with $10 an hour because I got 4 kids. I get that that would probably not be the case if you had to hire somebody off of the farm. But the bottom line is now I have accounted for my labor costs and it's going to flow up into my ultimate pricing of each bouquet. Okay, so the next thing we're about to look at is profit margin. Most people do not factor in their profit margin in their pricing, and that's a big mistake because if you don't put the desired profit margin into your pricing, then you won't make a profit. It's just that simple. My recommendation is to always have at least 35% profit margin factored into your pricing, and you can always adjust that number up or down based on market demand. So now let's go look at the calculator and see how much we should be charging for a bouquet. Okay, so now we need to go back to the number of total bouquets that we came up with based on the number of seeds and stems that we anticipate producing this season. So we're at 500 bouquets. Now, mason jar bouquets are considered a value-added product when you're selling it off farm. So I'm going to put the total number of value-added units at 500 because that's the number of bouquets that I am able to make based on the supplies and the equipment and all that. And as you can see, if I'm selling these off farm, I need to be selling each bouquet for around $24. And if I go to the farmer's market, then I need to be retailing them for about $26.45. So you may be like, okay, well, I don't know that my market will bear that. That's fine. That's why you can go back and adjust your profit margin. So I just adjusted my profit margin to 15% instead of 35%. All right, so now let's scroll back up and see what happened to our pricing. Okay, so now if somebody comes to the farm and buys a bouquet, I can sell it for $20. And then when I go to the farmer's market, I can sell them for $22.53. Bottom line is now I know without a shadow of a doubt that I've accounted for every input that it's costing me to make these bouquets, and I'm making sure that I am getting a profit with each sale. Here's the other thing, before you start adjusting your profit margin, if you have selected some very unique flowers and some very unique colors and different varieties that are going to be making up your bouquet, don't be so quick to adjust this profit margin number down. Of course, I can't sell this bouquet for $20, but if you've got Sandra Bernhardt peonies, dinner plate dahlias, and purple sunflowers in your bouquets, then you need to keep your pricing and leave it alone. Okay, so now that I know how much my retail and wholesale pricing is, I can come back over here to this main tab and look at my overall monthly farm income goal. And here you guys see I have a goal of $3,000, and my mason jars are just going to be part of that goal. So it tells me how many mason jars I need to sell at retail price in order to contribute to my overall farm goal based on the other stuff that I'm selling on the farm. So as you can see here, I need to sell 44.3 mason jars, 277 bars of soap, and 99 bags of rabbit poop in order to hit my goal of $3,000 a month. Dr. Booker T. Watley, and if you don't know who he is, go look him up. He was a champion of the small farmer, and he says All small farmers need at least 10 cash crops. So when I created this spreadsheet, I created it so that it had room for 10 different cash crops. And each tab will allow for you to either use it for plants, mushrooms, livestock, or value-added products like the bouquets that we just did. If you want a copy of this calculator, feel free to visit my link in bio. And when you purchase it, it comes with step-by-step, very detailed instructions to show you how to use it to set your farm up. Here's one of my customers, Misty Creek Acres. She recently purchased the farm calculator. And here's what she has to say about whether or not it was worth it. People, what you think about the calculator and whether or not it's worth the $97.
Yes. The farm calculator was 100% worth the money that it cost, because it really helped me to break down each item that I'm trying to sell and really see what it should be worth and what I should be charging. And it helped me see that I might have been underselling myself. And so I think the farm calculator is well worth it.
You guys go visit mistycreekacres.com. She is a first-generation farmer. She is doing everything the handcrafted way. I placed my order for some eucalyptus lavender goat milk soap and some vanilla goat milk soap, along with some loofah seeds. I cannot wait for it to get here, especially because now I know Julie and I know the care that she puts into creating her products. So it really feels good to support a fellow farmer. You want to do a one-on-one session like Julie and I did? Be sure to download the farm calculator sometime in the month of March. And when you download the PDF, there will be a link for you to schedule and get on my calendar. I'll see you there. Peace.